What is up, folks? This is Jason Hopkins coming at you, and I'm super excited to bring you step 4. Yes, step 4 of the 12 steps. It's a teaching module that I really hope you can get this, pass it on to friends, family. If you're in a clinician setting, pass this on to your people, man. I'm telling you, this is some good stuff. Anyway, it will be a 3-part session because step 4 is a 3-part session, bro. Anyway, I want to bring this like sponsored by blah, blah, blah. It's not really, obviously. But you know, my dude Jelly Roll has been out there and spreading the word with sobriety and all sorts of addiction issues. Jason Ford, his TikTok is official Jelly Roll, and one of his songs is dear and near to me. Is called Sober, and every song he's been dropping lately has just been off the hook. But I want to just let's talk about the lyrics, right? So this is a chorus. I fucked up again, hide behind my sins. I've found everything but closure. Learn to swallow pride behind these eyes. I don't see change of getting closer. I'll never get sober. And my friend, he will, we will, and that's the point of his songs. But right now, what I need you to do, if you're coming across this is what everyone's doing across the broad. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to bring this podcast to where it needs to be. And sometimes I'm just think that's just stupid. But, you know, these are things we have to do. I need you to rank and leave a review for me. Wherever you're hearing this, listening to this, I need you to ring and rank us. Good or bad. You know, like just bring it. Haters, bring it. People that love me, bring it, please. From now until March 1st, everyone that leaves a review with their name, and I can get a hold of them, will be into a drawing. And in March, I will announce who won, basically like our little gift basket. And since it's the beginning, it's the 1st of February, it's time to bring it. Chances are high because not everyone's really, like, you know, listening to this station, and I want to bring and spread awareness. So you might be like within 50 to 75 people that are listening right now. Shoot, you got a really high chance of winning some shit. Anyway, let's get back to this. Again, I said I am Jason Hopkins, and I am Jason Hopkins Podcast. Coming at you, educational purposes. We are going through the steps, and we are growing through these steps. We're going through my issues as trying to be a podcaster, learning how to do this shit. To be totally honest, step 1 was really horrible. Last year, in season 1, I did pretty good, but we're getting it together. And you know what? You guys are listening and following me. I mean, we're in like 9 countries right now. I don't know if you know that or not, but I am in 9 countries. That's pretty freaking cool, man. Someone's listening and have to deal with the steps, and they're onto this. And that's beautiful. Anyway, step 4. This is very difficult, very hard. You go into recovery facilities across at least Ohio. I don't know. I can't speak for other places. It's mainly step 1, 2, 3, step 1, 2, 3, step 1, 2, 3, and then move on. They don't dive into the really good stuff. And there are some privately held facilities that are actually, I think one was just called step 12. You know, it's phenomenal that they can do that. But when you're on Medicaid, Medicare, and you're poor and you're broke and you have nothing, there's not a lot of hopes for you within that. So that's why I'm bringing this to you. I'm bringing this to the family members. I hope that they can just spread the word. I'm bringing this to peer supporters across at least Ohio that can maybe be like, let's listen to this. Let's dive into this. Let's take some notes about this shit. I will cuss. So, you know, most of you that follow real close, we had a court case. And They literally, you know, they came at me in my past and whatnot. And I have some resentments that I'm going to have to work through with a sponsor. And it's okay. I wrote it down, heavily triggered. It's one of those things, I come home, you just go to bed. Just go to bed. Come on midnight, right? Come on midnight. It was one of those days. Called a couple friends, texted a couple people in my group. And not just, there's two separate groups. I have a group for myself with my needs and wants and inspirations. And then I have the same thing with my sponsees and people below me. Needs, wants, and inspirations. So I had to really go into that. And it's so not sad, but upsetting. Because people around me that do not have addiction in their soul do not understand. And, they try. They're really working on it. They just don't. And the old person would have made more excuses, went back out, because no one wants to understand where I'm at. New person has to be like, oh my God, this is where I'm at. I need some help. I need to talk. I need to text. I need family to be there for me. And they don't understand. And I can't get mad at them. That's the beauty of this process, beauty of my podcast, because I'm trying to give you both senses. My family is beautiful and have supported me. They just don't understand what I'm going through. And whoever's listening out there, I understand that you're not alone. That's why I want DMs, PMs, whatever brand new words they're calling, to instantly message me. Whatever it's called, do it. Anyway, step 4. We made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. If it makes you uncomfortable, you must do it. It's the only way to grow. I've said this before. If you're working out, that's my thing, being the personal trainer before. The only way to make a muscle grow is to break it. And my friends in addiction, in recovery, we are broken. So uncomfortableness is where growth is. And the reason why I'm saying this is because when it says fearless, make a fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Fearless, the definition is free from fear, free from brave. When was the last time we were brave? Moral, big words. Definition is even bigger, so I hope you're ready, folks. Moral, goodness or badness of human character. We are making a fearless inventory of ourselves. We are diving deep into our badness, basically, in our human character. And it hurts. Trust me, it hurts. It's insane. And the first thing that we run across is something that every single person around you can see. If you're in recovery and listening to this, you feel me. Once I lay it down, you might be mad, but you will feel this. Your resentments, everyone around you can see this except you. Whew. We're dropping bombs. The reason why I say that, not only because it's the truth, but the things that you are carrying around on this book bag called resentments, everyone can see it. You're not hiding this from anyone. People can see this. If you take a second and try to be sober for a day or so and watch Intervention, every single one of them has a book bag of resentments. And they're carrying it around. They are numb to the fact that the family members around them can even see it. I've been there, folks. It's sad. It hurts. It sucks. And it sucks for everyone around you. So, at that point, we have to get rid of selfishness. Or it will kill us. I don't need to go into how it'll kill us. We already know. We're rolling the dice every time we use, right? And you know that light cannot live in the dark. And if you want to sit here and say, oh, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to grasp my people that are not in recovery yet, that need to be, and are not seeing it or feeling it. I want you to be listening to my words. Light cannot live in the dark. What is in the dark? Resentments. Your resentments are living in the dark. I think we need to declare what resentments are. I think we need to look that up and actually define what the fuck resentments are, right? So, yes, I said the bad word. When I went to court yesterday, they were asking me if I cuss on my podcast. Yeah. That's just stuff, I have to deal with. I've always told you guys, new levels equal new devils. So when I'm doing good, I'm going to get some other shit to come at me. It was even brought up in court. Hey, do you have this podcast? I was like, yes, I do. I was actually excited about it, to be some weird way happy. The other attorney brought it up and said, have you ever said that you stole from liquor stores? I said gas stations. Yes, I have. I've not, denied that. And then he moved on. Had he moved on because where I'm at and what we're doing and how we're doing it, I don't know what Mr. Lucas was doing, but the thing was, it was hilarious because he could have dove so deep into it, and that was all he had. If you want to go back, listen to step 2. I gave him a very nice shout out that he should have more clients. And that's what I'm doing today. Lucas Thompson, Circleville, brand new attorney. I would not spend my money with him, but he really needs some new clients. So that's my plug for him. Is it sarcastically being a jerk? Yes, it is. Because you come at my throat, my family, I'm going to come at you a little bit. And that's how I can do it. And it's beautiful because I'm just trying to help him out. He needs clients. Anyway, resentment. It's a bitter indignation at having been treated unfairly. So we got the big word that I couldn't even pronounce. Basically, it's something you're harboring inside that you feel you were treated unfairly. Is that true? Is that not true? That's something that's the point of step 4. You have to get these resentments out. How were you treated unfairly? How did you treat someone else unfairly? We got to get this out and write it down. That's what's beautiful about this podcast and I love AA and NA. And I love the 12 steps. But when you go into meetings, it's not as informational as this. You don't know what the fuck's going on. They're reading some shit. You don't know what's going on. It's a bunch of old men. When you go to AA, you go to NA, it's young people. They're reading their thing off. They're doing... You're looking around like, what the fuck? So, anyway, love them both. And I do them both. But those are things. If you have questions, ask me. If it's new, ask me. I had someone reach out and ask me for about a teen group and how that works, and can they go to the adult groups and blah, blah, blah. Please. That's what we're doing here. We're spreading awareness. That's it. The No Laces movement is about all types of recovery, not just AA and NA. And if you are in domestic violence, PTSD, trauma, if you work these steps, you don't have to be an addict or alcoholic. I have friends that are very successful business, corporate America people that have issues that have nothing to do with a dependency on a drug, and they are working the steps. They are working step 4. They are going through, what are my resentments? How have I been treated unfair? How have they been treated unfair? That's what's beautiful about this. And that's what's opened my mind to a whole nother level. Is because it doesn't just have to be AA and NA, but recovery and whole. And also just people that are, say your divorce is failing. It's something that you can work with and work through. And free. What's that word? We don't know anymore. So anyway, this is going to be a 3-part series because step 4 is set on a 3-part series. And what I mean by that, if you're brand new, the first part of step 4 is resentments. And we have to write those down. And we have to go column by column by column. The second one is fears, your fear list. And the third one is your sex list. And that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Oh, I don't know. It's complete magic when you write this stuff down. And you're from the heart. And you're telling and meaning and writing stuff down. So, this is a little story I want to share about resentments. It's just I came across it. I was printing various things from the internet. And yes, I'm going to read line by line this story, author unknown. But I wanted to paint a picture about resentment and what that means for you, what that means in your addiction, what that means in your marriage, what that means in your business relationship. Like are you holding on that you have to work through? And that's the point of this step. Get it out. Throw it up onto paper. And then we can show you how to move on to the next thing and how to really get it out of your system. And it's beautiful. Anyway, let me read this to you. A story tells of a merchant in a small town who had an identical twin sons. The boys worked with their father in the department store he owned, and when he died, they took over the store. Everything went well until the day a dollar bill disappeared. One of the brothers had left the bill on the cash register and walked out with a customer. When he returned, the money was gone. He asked his brother, "Did you see the dollar bill on the cash register?" His brother replied, "No, I did not." But the young man kept probing and questioning. He would not let it alone. Dollar bills just don't walk up and go away. Surely you must have seen it. There was accusation in his voice. Tempers began to rise. Resentment set in. Before long, a deep and bitter divided them young men. They refused to speak. They finally decided they could no longer work together and divided the wall. was built between the center of the store. For 20 years, hostility and bitterness grew, spreading to their families and to the community. Then one day, a man in an automobile license in another state stopped in front of the store. He walked in and asked the clerk, "How long have you been here?" The clerk replied, "I've been here my whole life." The customer said, "I must share something with you. 20 years ago, I was riding the rails and came into this town in a boxcar. I hadn't eaten in 3 days. I came to the store from the back door and saw a dollar bill in the cash register. I put it in my pocket and walked away. All these years, I haven't been able to forget that. I know it wasn't much money, but I had to come back and ask for your forgiveness." The stranger was so amazed to see tears well up in the eyes of this middle-aged man. "Would you please go next door and tell the same story to the man in the store?" he said. The man was even more amazed to see two middle-aged men who looked very much alike embracing each other and weeping together in front of the store. After 20 years, the brokenness was mended. The wall of resentment that divided them came down. It is so often that the little things that finally divided people, words spoken in haste, criticism, accusations, resentments, and once divided, they may never come together again. The solution, of course, is to let it go. There is really nothing particularly profound about learning to let go of little resentments. But for fulfilling the last relationships, letting them go is a must. Refuse to carry around bitterness. You may be surprised as to how much energy you have left for building bonds with those you love. Sorry, I got to gather myself. That's a great story. And I'm a Pisces, so when I read that, like I picture a whole freaking movie. And it's beautiful. And then I start thinking about my resentments in my life and what walls I have built up between people and walls people have built up between me, which, rightfully so. Oh, yeah. Okay. Back to stage 4. Stage 4, like it's an act. It's not. The big book says on page 33, we launched out on a course of vigorous action. It's the first step of personally house cleaning, which many of us have never attempted. Through our decision was a vital and crucial step. It could have little permanent effect unless at once followed by a strenuous effort to face and get rid of the things in ourselves which had been blocking us. Our liquor was but a symptom. So we had to get down to the causes and conditions. And back that up for NA. Our opioids, our meth, our benzos, Fetty was but a symptom. We have to get down to the condition. The entire paragraph is a symptom, or is a timetable. We will get off our knees from step 3, prayer, and we launch right into writing our inventory. Why? Because that effect we felt during the 3rd step, prayer, could have little permanent effect unless at once followed by strenuous effort to face and rid of the things in ourselves which has been blocking us. Blocking us from what? Blocking us from God. And I hope you take time to rewind right now. So we begin to take inventory about who we are, being convinced that self is what caused our problems. Therefore, this is Big Book page 64. Therefore, we started upon a personal inventory. This was step 4. A business that takes no regular inventory usually goes broke. Taking a commercial inventory is a fact-finding, searching, and fact-finding fearless process. It is an effort to discover the truth about the stock in trade. Profit, loss, inventory. One object is to disclose damaged or unsaleable goods, to get rid of them promptly and without regard. If the owner of the business is to be successful, he cannot fool himself about values. What does that mean? Blah, 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 business, business, blah, blah, blah. A business cannot stay in business for you if it doesn't give two shits about their inventory, their profit and loss, how they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. They cannot. It can't happen. And so what I like this is because most of us are not business owners. So, okay. So we don't really know that. No, false. Most of us understand that we work for someone else, and there's a lot of retail people out there. That's like a huge percentage. Like it literally working on retail, it's profit, loss, it's inventory. How much inventory you got left? What are they buying? It comes down to I have to make a profit. This is saying, based on the book, in the big book, broken down, Jason Hopkins' podcast is saying that if you are not taking inventory on yourself, like the businesses are, then you will lose. You need to understand where you're at, how you're at, what you're doing, and how you're doing it, and take a loss and a profit. Right? So when I talk to my clients, now I'm getting on my soapbox, and this is everything I have said on my podcast comes back to fucking bite my ass. So here's another thing, but this is so true to every single one of you out there. I'm being real. I'm coming at you 100% of what it's like to be an addict. And listening, I hope you respect that. I hope you share this. I hope you understand. So we are doing all the same shit. When we get our money, we put aside the money to get our drugs, to get our pills, to get our crack, to get whatever it fucking may be. Our ice, our weed, our fucking alcohol. We put it all together, right? That's our number one goal. And then when what's left, then we try to figure out the rest. So if you're looking at it as a business standpoint, like we are in a total fucking big ass deficit. There's no profit coming in, so let's just throw that out the side. Money comes in, we make what we need to get our high, our fix, our whatever. And that could be from $500 a month to $1,800 a week. And we are doing it. We are spending that. We are borrowing that. We are stealing that to get to it. So that's a fact. And we have to understand that. And we have to say, whoa, fuck. I'm really doing this shit. Yeah, you are. And normal people that are sober and normal people that you might be stealing from, they do not fucking understand. Now that I'm a little bit sober, I don't understand the shit that I was doing. I worked, and, I had money come in. I don't want to say a functioning alcoholic, but like I had money coming in and money going out. But I would put my money aside for the whole month of what I needed to buy with my alcohol before I did any other goddamn bill. What sense does that make? It makes no fucking sense at all. And that's what this is talking about. A fearless inventory. A business analogy that we are doing and we are fucking up. And because of our resentments, it's the number one offender. It destroys more addicts than anyone else. And it's okay. It really is okay. Because you're not alone. And you're right there with us. And I want to, normal people, please close your ears. For my addicts and alcoholics, you are beautiful people. You can wake up at 7 a.m. and have $2 to your name. And you can hustle and move and make your moves and do whatever you need to do to get our high. So you can wake up with nothing. And you can end up finding a way to spend $100, $200, $300 a day. We find ways to do it. So that's a beautiful asset. And I hope you know that. I hope you know that. Another thing that we listed was institutions or principles in column 1 with whom we were angry with. We asked ourselves why we were angry in column 2. Most cases, it found that our self-esteem, our checkbooks and ambitions and relationships, including sex, were hurt or threatened. The resentment side is the number one offender because character defect that is on the surface is that defect others can see the most, and we don't see that. It's a very complicated stage. It's very tough because we have to deeply go within ourselves to find our flaws. And most programs out there do not do that. I was a personal trainer for 2 years. We didn't go this deep with inside. I mean, that is 80% of the issue is inside. Why are you going to McDonald's 3 times a day? Like, what's up with that? You know, like the whole calorie thing and that. But what's interesting, just like any other business, is that business wants you to fail. That business wants you to fail because you're going to continue to spend money on a trainer because you are eating bad. When it comes to usage, AANA, there ain't nothing else you're spending other than your emotional gratitude with everything in life. And you know what? If you want to get fucking free coffee and a donut every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, fucking so be it. Just go. You ain't gonna get that anywhere else. But you have to listen to other people. It's an honest program. And it's anonymous. So no one even knows you're there. So you have to understand that piece. And when it comes back to profit and loss and with our body, like we did exactly the same thing with our lives. Right? We took stock, honestly, hopefully. We searched out the flaws in our makeup, which caused us failure. Being convinced that self-manifestation in various ways was what we defeated us, or what was the defeation of us. We considered it a common manifestation, and it's not. This inventory is about who you are. Being convinced that self is what caused the problems. The exercise will get you out and put it on paper that honestly it's self, you. And it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's you. You are now looking at, like, we are doing this every day, folks. Like, are we working for a manufacturing company? You know? Well, what do you do with that? Well, I go in and I do X, Y, Z. All right, you do X, Y, Z. I mean, everything is for profit and everything is for loss, right? No matter what we're doing, how we're doing it. County workers, it's still profit and loss. It still has your grid. Are we fixing the people that we are dealing with? And what is the compliance ratio? Like getting really big words, right? For me, that's big words. This is doing it for yourself. So you're doing it. So say you're working and you're dealing with addiction. And you have multiple jobs because addiction has made you fail, not go to work. So you have to go get another job. It's not abnormal for someone in addiction to have 20 or 30 jobs within 4 years. So you're working all these jobs, you're doing the profit and loss for them, how they're doing it. This is just saying, step 4 is saying you're taking the profit and loss for yourself. The reason why no one touches base on this bullshit is because it's very difficult, it's very intense, and the book says so. On page 64, resentments are the number one offender. It's basically saying for us. It destroys more alcoholics and addicts than anything else. It stems from a form of spiritual disease, which ye have been only mentally and physically ill. We have been spiritually sick because we have not been dealing with this. We listed people, institutions, and principles that pissed us off. That's what you have to do with step 4. With whom we were angry. We asked ourselves, well, why we were angry. Column 2. And in most cases, found that self-esteem, our pocketbooks, our ambitions, our personal relationships, including sex, were hurt or threatened. So we were sore. We were pissed off. That's why it's so hard to do. It's like our grudge list. On our grudge list, we list opposite of our names and injuries. With self-esteem, our securities, our ambitions, our personal, our sex relationships, which have been interviewed by column 3. And we know the resentment is the number one feeler, or is the number one offender. I want to say feeler, because to me, when I did my stuff, like, it was all feels, bro. Like, it was all feels. So I might have said that a time or two before. It literally was all about feels. And it hurt. I was too proud. I had ego. How do I deal with this? So I'm going to post on here the columns. And we have to, like, try to post this and do that. And I want you to let me know. You know what I'm saying? Because we have part 3 coming up, right? Step 4 is a rant, or just to get you open, because no one goes there, bro. No one goes there. No one does that in any facility in Ohio that will teach you the steps. Very seldom. Hope Valley did, and I'm grateful, but they also had, sorry, my doggies. Come on, baby. I know. Sorry. It's okay. It's okay. The place I stayed, 155 days, they did go over it, but they also had, a lot of bullshit going on, and I'm never going to stop a person going into rehab, but I will look at the executive director within the area and see and go from my opinion. And that's just it. There's a lot of good that comes from some places, but there's also a lot of bad. So, if your family listening to me and us, hey, DM me. Get a coach. Figure out where you want to send them. It's like a fucking college. Where do you want to send them? Look at reviews. Look at other people's opinions. See what's up there. And if they rank so high, you send them there. What the hell? It's not that hard. When they're on government assistance, you have that rotation. If your son or daughter are on government assistance, you have the rotation that what happens is that, when it comes time for winter, they're looking for a place to stay and do a program. And then they go in there and they act like they're all about the program. And, unfortunately that's sad, but that's just the way it goes. So when it comes to colder months, everything gets pretty packed with a bunch of bullshit. And, you just need to find something good. It will happen. I mean, I think pretty much it happened for me. Would I send if there was ever a point for my daughters? Hell no. Right now, the executive director's a predator. I mean, that's just it. You get into these businesses where these people are just the dirt of the dirt, and they can actually act like they're a whole person. So the reason why I'm saying that is because this podcast reaches out to so many people worldwide. I want it to be known. I want it to be text and on record, and let's figure out where you at. Is there a place we can find that's really good based on their ratings, based on this, based on that? I want to grow a whole community, because honestly, some of these places are absolutely shit. And then when you really dive deep into it, let me add this, because I don't hold any fucking thing back. Florida and California, not sure about New York. I don't have that committed, but some people are in the rehab facility to go and recruit people just for the rehab facility. Doing drugs, doing that. Boom, let's move them over. And they get paid on how many people they can move into a facility. And getting into facility, that's great. But like when we're, you got 3 or 4 guys rolling around the little county picking up all these fucking people. Are they doing it to be good? Are they doing it to be bad? What are they doing? But when they're doing it just for money, there's an issue there. And that's an issue I have. So it just turns into these places are just billing systems for, medical. In Ohio, no, not so much. Other places, yes. In Ohio, there's one that's really getting ready to push it with their extended stay and the pictures that they put out and how great they're doing. But they're not there yet. But when they are, I'm going to be there. Same place with that executive director. Fuck him. So let's finish off with the next verse with Jason DeFord. Says, I deal with this pain, don't ask me how. I just hide behind a mask of smiles. When I'm down and drunk and bound, I get as high as I can be. I don't like the person that's inside of me. Beautiful. I'm thinking of that song. Anyway, folks that are listening, I love you. I see the results that, the people that are listening to. This went a little bit longer, but I'm glad it did because this part is very in depth. The last card and the last thing I want to tell you guys is I will not be in front of you. I will not be behind you. I will be beside you, brother and sister. I want you to know that. I want you to rate this, good or bad. I'm going to put your username with however you rate me into a basket. I don't care if it's bad. It's in the beginning. We're doing this. It's going to be a gift basket, and we're going to send it out to you. It's going to be awesome. Let's just start rating this shit and get it going. And I tried for the intro, so we'll see how that goes. And I tried for the outro. All I can do is be human, spread the word. I want family members that are dealing with this shit to listen, to spread the word. And I want this episode really to go to my buddy Jeremy Smith. He passed away, and we dealt with his services last week, and he's a proof that this process works, the steps work, and you can make it through. And so this goes to Jeremy Smith, his family. Love you guys to death. And, I'm posting this. I'm sick of fucking burying people, man. I'm sick of it. And I know you are too. And I don't want any of your loved ones to do that. I want you to grasp onto my words. I want you to text me, and let's go from there. This is I Am Jason Hopkins podcast. I love you, and have a beautiful night.